Hello. So today we're just doing a recap of the NAS 100 and US 30, the Dow Jones. US 30, aka the Dow Jones, or the Dow Jones, aka US 30, also known as Dirty 30, however you choose to, whatever you choose to call it. But yeah, we're definitely gonna hop into NAS first. I'm a seller. When I got really good at trading, I was really good at sales, spotting sales. And today was not one of those days. Um, I took a loss. It was a small loss. So I'm not really upset about the loss. I'm not really upset about anything about this trade, to be honest. Well, about this move, other than what it may mean for our country, if you live in the United States. But other than that, as far as the skill of trading and the purpose of trading, which is making money, and of course, you do take losses. So I'm not concerned. I'm not really talking about that aspect of it. It's the fact that I'm usually a seller. I usually sell in markets. I always see some sort of sale, whether the overall bias is bullish, which is why I chose to buy today. I chose to buy today and I did take a loss, and we will get into that explanation here in a little bit. I took that loss on US 30 though. I did not take that loss on NAS 100, but I wanted to get into this move today because oh my God, look at that move. This is a 15-minute chart. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe the market had fell so far. And when I did the calculation on US 30, it was around 1500 points from what I calculated. Um, give or take, but I was just in awe. I looked at the market because I work full time. So oh my goodness, I can't even talk straight. Look at oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. But um wow. This move, wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. But what looking at this move, a lot of people lost money, but a lot of people made money. And to the people who made money today, shout out to you. Go you. You called it. And whenever I miss a move like this or similar to this, I like to go and do bar replay, and I put on the risk that I would have put if I had have seen my setup in time. And I'll give an example of that here in a minute when I look at US 30, because I didn't take a trade on Nasdaq, but I took a trade on US 30. But a Nasdaq move was a little bit further, it seems, or from a longer distance than US 30 or the Dow Jones was. And it's just wow. Like, oh my goodness, look at that. And I like to enter between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Silver Bullet. I trade ICT concepts. So I like to enter during that time if I'm going to take a sale in the morning session, even as late as 10:45. But today, this move, oh my God, right at 10:50, and it just dropped. But the thing about it, maybe if I was on a lower time frame than the 1 minute, but even here, well, there was a small fair value gap here, and it did trade back into it at 10:13, and we have it trading back into it again around 10:27. But the thing about it is that I look for some sort of significant gap that I can see from a distance. But when you kind of get a wider view of the screen, you do see that as a fair value gap, and it trade back into that fair value gap and begin to trade to the sell side. You do see that. Um, but wow, I was not expecting this on Nasdaq. I traded Nas earlier this week. So I traded it I believe it was on a Wednesday. I traded Nasdaq on a Wednesday, and I got a 1 to 5. I made a 1 to 5 risk to reward. Um, and it was a very good trade. The following day, I wasn't going to trade it because I didn't know what the market was going to do because it moved such a wide range. Um, but today, we'll get into US 30 here in a second. We'll take a look at what I did on US 30, and maybe that was my um and maybe that was my um misjudgment when it came to trading US 30 today, because I have been trading NAS on a bullish trend. It has been going up consistently, impulsive moves to the upside. So today when I traded US 30, it looked a little different. US 30 was already looking as if it wanted to go to the downside, but I was expecting NAS to be the leader. I didn't expect US 30 to be the leader in the bigger move. But again, that comes along with learning the markets and getting to know the markets and knowing how it moves in certain conditions, because how often do we have government shutdowns here in the US? So, just really getting to know these conditions is just a part of it. So, but anyway, this move just was so, oh my God. Again, I can't say enough about this move. Like, it moved so many points. It moved so many points to the downside. Oh my goodness. But anyway, let's hop on US 30, which is the pair I actually took the trade on. So again, US 30, as you can see, it's been doing its thing to the downside. And usually I trade US 30 and I'm very in sync with US 30, but NAS did something Wednesday to where I'm like, this is a cleaner move. So I took the trade on NAS, and I had been kind of following NAS the whole for the entire week. I looked at US 30, but the moves, look at how it moved. It didn't really give me anything. Nothing I was sure of. Nothing I was sure of. But in hindsight, this move to the downside made sense to me in hindsight. But, earlier I did take a buy. The market was, I'm going to do a bar replay real quick. Let's see, right about here. So the market created this move here, and it was around so it was somewhere around before this drop here. It was around the 1035, 1040 mark. And I was expecting it to go to the upside to take out this high, and possibly this high. But again, in hindsight, the market was pretty much saying, I'm ready to go down. But I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. I just knew that this here was not, none of this was definitive. None of it. The moves, the moves were not in like, but what's crazy in hindsight, again, I've seen this before in my back testing. This is what US 30 does. It does this. It does that. Um, but I didn't see that today. So I took a buy around 10:30, 10 between 10:30 and 10:40, and that candlestick dropped, and I was out for the day. I was out for the day, and I just took that loss, and I just watched the market the rest of the day. Um, but one thing I will say, whenever I miss a move that I consider like immaculate, what I'll do is go to TradingView, log into my TradingView. I will bar replay it, and I will take the trade as if how I would have taken it if I had have seen the move, and I'll put on the risk. So let's see. So in hindsight, I would have put my stop loss here. And I say in hindsight because I seen this fair value gap on the 4-hour. That is why I would have taken the trade to the sell side had I seen this. But we have a fair value gap on the 4-hour. We have a fair value gap on the 1-hour. We have a fair value gap on the 30-minute. We have fair value on the 15-minute. And we have fair value on the 5-minute, as well as the 3-minute, and as well as the 1-minute. So in hindsight, with this run on liquidity from, let me show you the 1-minute. So these are the fair value gaps on the 1-minute. That same fair value gap that I just went down each time frame. This is the same. These are the same fair value gaps that were created during that time. So in hindsight, with this run on liquidity from Friday, I would have definitely looked for it to be a sale. But again, look like standing too close to the trees for the forest. Wait, how does that saying go? You stand so close to the tree. You're standing so close to the forest to where you can't see the trees. Yeah, I think that's how. Yeah, that's the saying. I was standing so close to the forest to where I couldn't see the trees, and I missed that the market was basically saying, hey, I made my high, I've broken structure, and I may just shift to the downside. And looking at this, even though I'm not a trend line trader, but I started out as a trend line trader, looking if we even wanted to go trend line, let me get it together. So even if I wanted to go trend line, and I've seen this in hindsight, the trend is even, let's see, hold on. Let's see, hold on. So looking at this trend here and here, we have 1 tap, 2 taps, and though it did not tap here, the trend itself, if we're just going off those two taps, it broke structure. And with such an impulsive break of structure, yeah, you don't have more than 3 taps, because the trend line traders I have followed, I think they look for 3 or 4 taps. But even following, even without the 3 taps, with this break of structure being so impulsive, you could have still considered that a break of structure, and looking how the market came back up and tapped into that line to this side, and then we have the move that came afterwards after the next day or so. So that is it for this video, and I'm recording this again to have documentation. And if you're a trader and you're looking to be a trader and you're looking to get better at your trading, record your videos, make your videos, because the thing about it is that I was making this channel and I still want people to learn from my commentary, but I was making this channel for myself, and then I slowly found myself trying to make the information as transferable as possible. But I had to just kind of step back and um, kind of have a talk with myself that this is for my documentation. Like when I record things like this is for my documentation for me to be a better trader. Now, along the way, I will share some things that will help others to grow. I'm looking for us all to grow, but initially, this is for my documentation and how I would possibly want um, my nieces to grasp this information. Um, and that's pretty much my whole motivation. So until the next one.